It's Courtney, and it is a lovely day out here. Finally, I was just bragging to somebody last Friday how gorgeous it had been and how the weather was so nice, and that usually this time of year it's nothing but rain and cold, and um, the immediate day it was like down to 50 some degrees and rainy, and it was like that all the way until yesterday. Be careful. Don't dump the little ones out. You know better. They'll go under the porch. So anyways, yeah, so it's finally nice out again. I see a couple of dark clouds back in the distance, but hopefully they'll pass.
I
don't know if you can see those, but they're pretty gloom and doom looking, but I think we'll get away with no rain today. Hopefully. This is my eye look today. I don't really like it that much. I don't like how it turned out because, like, I would like it's just like flat, like blocks in the middle of my eyes. I wish I would have like faded it, you know, into each other a little bit more seamlessly. But it'll do. I'm just gonna wipe it back off here in, you know, a half an hour. So I wasn't gonna redo it just for a little video and then put it back on. Take me another 20 minutes to put it back on again. Whenever I'm not talking and I'm doing my makeup, it only takes me like 20 minutes, but whenever I'm like making a video, like get ready with me talking kind of video, it takes me so long to do my makeup. But that's because I can't multitask. So today will be the last day. Well, not forever, but it'll be the last time that I talk about this big celebrity drama. For now, until something else interests me. I haven't really talked at length about the James Charles situation, and I wasn't really planning on it because I think we all pretty much feel the same. What he's doing or what he's done is pretty gross, and you should not invalidate other people's sexuality just because you want them to be with you. Put that down. Just because you want somebody to be with you does not mean that they are going to be the sexual orientation that you want, no matter how much money or, you know, fame or whatever you can give to them. And that's just that. Some people will gay for pay for a while, but nobody's going to stay with you for 20 plus years gay for pay. It's not going to happen. Or gay for attention, or whatever you want to call it. It's just not going to happen. And what a sad thing if it would happen. That would almost even be worse than, you know, it would be horrible, even worse if that did happen and somebody after 20 years pretty much told you, I never loved you. You know, I was only with you because you can give me money and fame and, you know, that kind of stuff. You can give me what I want. Not because you love me or I love you. Like I said, that would be even worse. Yeah, let me turn this way. So, I think we all know that situation, and we all have our feelings on that situation. Okay. Lots of spiders die, honey. We have lots of spiders because we are under all these trees. Oh, and you can see how bad my makeup actually looks in the light. But I want to talk about something else. Another aspect of this situation. So, all this crap is coming out about James Charles. And, of course, his sisters are trying to, anything that they can to deflect. Just like I've been saying with the Trisha Paytas thing, how she's trying to deflect from the situation. They are trying to do the same thing. They are trying to dig up things on Jefree Star. Dig up things on anybody. Stop screaming right now. Please and thank you. She hasn't been able to play outside the last 2 or 3 days, so she's pretty wound up right now. What was I saying? Oh, so people have been going back and going into Jefree Star's, you know, history, which we all know isn't pretty. they've been going back and finding these tweets about him saying that, something about Justin Bieber's dick and something about, you know, I've slept with so many straight guys that I should have a Lifetime Achievement Award, and just like a bunch of nasty shit. And that's what it is. It's nasty shit. I'm not going to make excuses for it. I'm not going to say he was right. Oh, and before I forget, this is my outfit of the day. Let me show you my Hello Kitty crop top. I found this the other day in my closet. I found like tons of stuff from long ago. I think I've had this since high school. So anyways, I just thought it was cute because I finally, you know, I found it. Anyways, back to the subject. Sorry for going off track. Is anybody else like that? These things make your head itch a little bit. They're fine for like the first hour or so, but after about an hour wearing them, my head starts getting a little itchy underneath, especially bandanas, like actual bandanas. Please stop. And I'm not going to ask you again, or I'm going to make you go in the house. Anyways, guys, hold on. Okay, so it's a little bit windy, so it is still a little bit chilly. I had to go get a little sweater. Okay, so, in the last tweet I saw was Jefree Star saying something about, I don't like gay boys, I like straight guys, get it right, thank you, or something like, along those lines. Something along the lines of, I like straight men. And like I said, no excuses. Yeah, it's gross. Same sentiment. It's gross. I mean, it's gross no matter who says it. It doesn't matter who said it, it's still gross. But the difference is, I have a couple points with this, but my first point being, Jefree Star has held his hands up and said, I was wrong. I was a shit person in my past. I did, you know, lots of wrong things. I'm sorry for everything I've said. I'm sorry for everything I've done. He did a real heartfelt apology, and he's come back from it. You know what I mean? He's already been through this. He's already been through, you know, hate. He's already been through a lot of hate. And there are still people today that hate him because of his past. So, he's had his share. He's been through this already. You know, everybody goes through it. Every YouTuber that has any kind of attention has gone through it. Just about. I mean, there's some people that are so wholesome it makes you sick. But then they still have haters because people hate people that are so nice and wholesome and goody two-shoe because they're not like that, or because they're bad people, or whatever the reason might be. It doesn't matter. It's just that, you know, they'll still have haters too for being too wholesome and too nice and too happy. So no matter what you do, if you're a sizable channel, you will get your fair share of hate. I'm sure if my channel grows enough, I'll get my share of hate, you know what I mean? And I try to be, you know, as positive and happy as I can be. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm an asshole, and sometimes I say things that come out in the wrong context, or they come out ways I didn't mean them. Because usually whenever I say mean things, I didn't even mean it that way. I don't like saying mean things. I don't like doing mean things because it does not make me feel good. I've said this a million times on my channel, but for the new people that have never seen me before, hi, I'm Courtney, and whenever I hurt somebody's feelings, it hurts me more than it hurts them. And I probably feel worse about hurting their feelings than the person getting their feelings feels. Because I can't stand it. Yeah, I've got an apology on my channel right now because I hurt somebody's feelings, or I kind of pissed them off, or however you want to say it, whatever the case was. I felt so fucking bad about it that I apologized like 20 times, and I even made an apology video because it just dug at me so bad until I did that, to get it out in the air that I didn't mean anything the way it came off. It eats at me, so I don't know. Anyways, back to the point at hand here. Jeffree's got his fair share of hate. He's been through it. He said racial things. He said just plain out disgusting things. He said ageist things. He said sexist things. He's called names. He has, tried to hurt people that have hurt him. And I think a lot of that is what it was, because back whenever Jefree was growing up, people were not so accepting of men in makeup, or a man with pink hair, or a man that, dressed like a woman. Even in drag, people weren't as accepting of that. I think he grew up he's a little bit older than me. He's like 6 or 7 years older than me, I believe. And I know whenever I was a kid that people were not as accepting of being gay, and especially of, like I said, men in makeup. That barely ever happened. I don't think I knew like 2 guys in my whole high school, career, or whatever you want to call it, that wore makeup. 2. And neither of them wore like girls' makeup, or not girls' makeup, but at the time would be considered girls' makeup, like pink and big and, garage door eyeshadow, or whatever you want to call it. They didn't wear that. One of them only wore like concealer and a little bit of blush, and that was it. And then the other one, yes, did go wild with it, but not every day either, because they knew that they would get the hell shit beat out of them, So I think a lot of Jeffree Star's problems back then, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not sticking up for him. I'm not saying that it makes it okay. I'm just giving a reason. You're not going to pick my peonies. I know what you're talking about. So it doesn't make it okay. Like I said, I'm not making any excuses for him treating anybody badly. I'm just giving reasons, or possibilities, because I don't know that that's the certain reason. Autumn, okay, just be quiet, please. Let me say what I gotta say, and then I'll get off here. I don't want to make a long video today. So, yeah, things, people weren't as accepting back then. And, I think that Jefree Star, let me sit down here. I think that Jefree would just go for the most disgusting, horrible things that he could think to say to hurt people, because he wanted them to hurt as much as they were hurting him. So they were going to call him a F word. He was going to call them something racial. They were going to call him the Q word. He was going to call them something sexist, or, just whatever he could think of to sling at them to hurt their feelings. And that's what I believe. And I believe that. I really do. Like I said, does it make it right? No, it doesn't. But it's just a little insight, because for all you youngins out here that are only 18 right now, it was not the same back whenever I was a kid, or anybody that, most of you that follow me on here anyways, are my age, or some of you are a little bit older. So you guys know what I'm saying. It was not the same back then. People were not understanding. People were not accepting. People were not... Oh, beautiful. Thank you, darling.
I did.
She got me one of my peonies. Thank you. Has pink in it. It has some pink in it. Yeah, they have like really, really strong...
That's a car?
No, I heard somebody beep, but I don't see nobody.
Coming?
So yeah. You guys that are my age or older, you understand where I'm coming from, what I'm saying whenever I'm saying this. Not an excuse, just the truth. And then my second point to that whole thing is, stop trying to distract, damn it. This is not about Jefree Star. This is not about Nikita Dragon. This is not about Gabriel Zamora. This is not about Tati anymore. Yeah, it sucks that her feelings were hurt, and yeah, I don't think it's right how he treated her. And, is that a cat? And, if my best friend was selling a product, I damn sure would not go against their opponent. I don't know, I thought I heard a cat meow. I would not do a little commercial on Twitter or Instagram or wherever. That way. I would not, sell their competitor's product, essentially. And not only that, but I find it comical that he told Tati that he would feel weird selling pills to children, but yet he is, talking about gummy bears, gummies, stress and anxiety pills, or they're sleeping pills, but he said for stress and anxiety or whatever, which appeals even more to younger children these days, because it's cool to be depressed, or it's cool to be anxious, or these days people see a mental illness as a personality trait, and is something that you want to be. Stop picking on my peonies, please. So he didn't want to sell pills, but he wants to sell pills that are gummy vitamins shaped like little teddy bears that are going to be that taste good, that are going to be even more appealing to children. What? No sense. Makes no sense. And then lastly, like I was saying, this is not about Jefree Star. It's not about anybody else. This is about what James did. This is James' time. It is his time to own up to his shit. It is his time to learn how you can and cannot act these days. Everybody's got to go through it. Everybody gets a reality check. Everybody gets knocked down a few pegs. It happens to everybody. Please stop picking on my peonies. Don't pick another one. Everybody gets knocked down a few pegs when they, think they got it all going on in life. I am not famous, or, I'm not cool or famous or rich or any of those things. But guess what? I had my time where I was knocked down a few pegs. Sure did. Everybody has it happen in life. He's lucky that it's happening so early to him, instead of, later on in his life where he cannot come back. Because that does happen to some people. Look at Bill Cosby. He's too old now. He will not get a chance to come back, which he doesn't deserve to. Obviously, what he did was a lot freaking worse. He was actually raping people and drugging them, and he was, that was really bad. I'm not comparing the two. It's apples to oranges, but I'm saying just in the fact of James Charles will be able to pick himself up by his bootstraps here in a month or so and come back to YouTube whenever he's ready, and there will still be sisters all over the world, waiting with open arms for him to come back and cheering him on the whole way. But Bill Cosby, nobody wants to touch that motherfucker with the 10-foot pole now. He is too old to come back. He is not in his height of success, so people aren't so willing to forgive. Because I guarantee you, if this was during the Cosby Show, and he was as loved as he, once was, it's possible he could come back. Look at freaking, oh my God, what's his name? The R&B guy, you know who I'm talking about. R. Kelly. Look at R. Kelly. He didn't fall all the way off after the first sexual allegation that came against him, and they had a videotape. Or no, I think that was the second time. But still, there's been 3 or 4 different times that things have come out against him, and he came back every time. And there were still people buying his music, and so it's not the end for James Charles. We all know this. He's not completely canceled. I hate cancel culture, though. I do hate canceled culture, because sometimes people don't even deserve it, what's going on with them. Sometimes people just get on a bandwagon just because that's what everybody else is saying to do, so they do it because they don't want to be the minority or the one person that thinks for themselves. I like being that, but I like having different opinions than other people. Not just to be inflammatory or disagree with people, but because I'm an empath, and I can almost always see both sides of a situation, and I can almost always understand where the other person's coming from. But in this situation, I agree with, most people. It's not cool. Autumn, come back. Hold on. All right, y'all. I'm about done. Like I said, my last point was just basically, don't try to divert and throw up. Oh, well, look at what Jefree did. We know Jefree was a shithead. We already know this. We're already aware. We know all about everything he did in his past, but he owned up to his shit and apologized. You know, James has not done that. Yes, he apologized to Tati, but he has not said anything about any of the other allegations. All he did was say he was sorry to Tati, and it was a shit job at that. For somebody that you consider your mother, or your, LA mother, or whatever you want to call it, where was your emotions, boy? You would think that if you had so much feeling for a person that you would be able to at least fake cry thinking about losing them. If you couldn't real cry, you could at least fake crying just thinking about, the possibility of losing them. She couldn't even do that. It's your time, James Charles. Just own up to what you've done. Accept it. Apologize. Don't try to deflect by throwing somebody else out there to the wolves, especially somebody that's already been through it more than once and is still getting hate to this day. Just accept it. And eventually you'll be able to come back to YouTube. Like I said, there'll still be sisters all over the world waiting with open arms. And that's that. And I'm not going to talk on this drama stuff anymore. Well, not ever again. But next time I find something that intrigues me or whatever, I will talk about it again, of course. But I don't really like celebrity drama that much. I'm more of a... I don't even really like talking about drama that much because, like I said, I can always see all angles of the dice. But whenever I have a feeling on something and I have a clear-cut opinion, I do like to talk about it. And I'm sure I will have an opinion, about something else. But for this situation, I will not talk about it again. And I'm done with celebrity drama for a little while. I don't care about it. I don't care. But anyways, guys, I hope you are having a lovely Wednesday. I hope that whatever you're doing today, that it's a lovely day and that you get to spend it with somebody that you love. And I hope the birds are singing and the sun is shining. Love you all.